The Galactic Council chamber was silent. Messages from countless worlds had arrived, but none caused so much tension as the news from the Vorkari Empire. The Vorkari, a proud and ancient empire, had insulted Earth. They laughed at humanity's so-called primitive technology. They mocked the harsh, deadly planet humans called home. They called Earth a death world not worth attention. Humans did not respond. They did not argue. They did not even show anger. They simply watched, listening through the galaxy's networks, observing every move of the arrogant empire. Then, the Vorkari acted. A small strike fleet entered human space, targeting a mining colony on the outskirts of the Sol system. It was not a major world. The humans had no large cities there. The fleet was meant as a warning to show humanity its place in the galaxy. The humans detected the attack immediately. Sensors tracked every ship. Communication systems analyzed every signal. And yet, the humans did not respond with anger. They did not fire. Instead, a single message was sent. You overstep. Leave our space. The Vorkari laughed. Their commanders believed humans were weak and fearful. They ignored the message and moved deeper into human territory. They fired on the colony again, destroying mining stations and supply ships. The humans still did not attack. It was almost a test. Meanwhile, across human space, the fleets began to move. Not visibly. Not with blaring signals or bright engines. They moved silently, like shadows in the void, taking positions across key systems. Humans were not reacting. They were preparing. The Vorkari fleet celebrated their apparent victory. They believed humans would beg for mercy. They thought Earth would surrender before real battle began. But humans do not beg. At the edge of the colony, sensors suddenly picked up strange readings. Ships appeared at impossible angles, unseen until they were close. Hulls dark, engines silent. Movements precise. Timing perfect. The first human strike hit. Vorkari command ships were disabled first. Communication networks failed. Military coordination collapsed. Smaller warships collided or drifted helplessly. The Vorkari had never seen combat like this. The humans did not destroy planets. They did not target civilians. They struck at military and strategic assets, isolating the fleet. A human voice, calm and clear, echoed across Vorkari channels for the first time. You insulted us. Now face the consequences. Panic spread through the Vorkari ranks. Ships tried to retreat. Weapons fired blindly. Shields flared against attacks they could not see. And then more human ships arrived, one after another, appearing from angles that no Enigma-style scanner could predict. It was as if the humans had been everywhere at once. Within minutes, the strike fleet was shattered. Entire squadrons vanished. The Vorkari commanders realized with horror that this was only a partial human fleet. The main force had not yet arrived. As the dust settled in space, human ships did not celebrate. They did not broadcast victory. They simply hovered at the borders, watching, waiting. Back at the Galactic Council, alarms rang. Reports flooded in. The Vorkari demanded support. Other empires whispered fearfully. Humans had shown control, precision, and patience, all qualities that the galaxy had long underestimated. The ancient alliance that had warned the Vorkari spoke quietly. We told you. Humanity is not an enemy you survive. And across the galaxy, fear began to spread. The Vorkari had insulted Earth, and the deathworlders were just beginning to respond. The Vorkari Empire believed the humans were weak. They thought the strike on the mining colony would scare them. They were wrong. Human fleets did not rush into battle. They did not make loud announcements. They moved silently, like shadows across space. taking positions in systems the Vorkari never noticed. The first strike came without warning. Command ships of the Vorkari fleet vanished almost instantly. Their communication networks went dead. Squadrons were cut off from each other. Smaller warships collided or drifted, helpless and confused. The humans did not destroy planets. They did not harm civilians. They struck at military targets and strategic points. Supply lines were severed. Escape routes blocked. A human voice echoed through every channel the Vorkari could access. Calm, controlled. You insulted us. Now face the consequences. The Vorkari fleet fired blindly into space. Weapons discharged at nothing. Shields flared, absorbing attacks that could not be tracked. Panic spread. Officers shouted orders, but no one knew what to command. Then, more human ships appeared. From above, from below, from behind. Hulls dark, engines nearly silent, movements precise. They were everywhere and nowhere at once. The Vorkari tried to regroup. They attempted a retreat. Commanders sent signals of surrender. The humans did not respond. They continued dismantling the fleet piece by piece, striking only where necessary. Within minutes, the first Vorkari fleet was shattered. Ships exploded or drifted powerless. Military coordination collapsed entirely. It was a disaster the Vorkari had never imagined possible. Across the galaxy, smaller empires watched in silence. Traders halted shipments. Scouts stopped reporting. Every alien race understood that humans were not to be underestimated. Back at Earth, human commanders monitored the battle quietly. No celebrations. No cheers. Every move calculated. Every strike measured that the Vorkari High Admiral realized something terrifying. This is only the beginning. Reports confirmed his fear. The main human fleet was still beyond scanner range, moving in formations he could not predict. The Deathworlders were not reacting, they were preparing. A second wave struck strategically weaker points. Supply carriers vanished. Reinforcements were blocked. Command nodes disabled. The Vorkari Empire's entire operation grid fell into chaos. A final human message was broadcast across every Vorkari system. This is only a warning. Leave human space. Do not test us again. The Vorkari had no choice. They survived, but they were weakened. Their pride had been shattered. Their empire had learned a lesson the hard way. Meanwhile, the main human fleet continued to advance silently. System by system, they took control without unnecessary destruction. The galaxy began to realize the terrifying truth: humans did not attack for pride. They attacked to end threats officially died at the Galactic Council. Whispers of fear grew louder. The ancient alliance that had warned the Vorkari repeated their words. We warned you. Humanity is not an enemy you survive. Across human space, comm fleets waited, poised to strike again if necessary. Every empire understood one thing clearly: Earth is not to be provoked. The Deathworlders had answered the insult, and the galaxy was only beginning to feel their strength. Across the galaxy, the story of humanity spread like wildfire. Empires whispered in fear. Traders paused shipments. Scholars debated what they had witnessed. The humans of Earth were not just survivors, they were warriors shaped by a deadly world. A planet where only the strongest and smartest survived. The Galactic Council opened old records. Ancient archives revealed humanity's history. They had endured countless disasters on Earth: storms, earthquakes, famine, and predators that could kill easily. They had survived extinction-level events. Every generation learned to adapt, to fight, to overcome. When humans first reached the stars, they were mocked by older empires. Colonies were attacked. Fleets destroyed. Promises of aid were empty. Humanity was hunted. And they survived. It was not revenge that drove them. It was preparation. Humanity learned a simple truth: no one protects the weak. So they became strong in secret. They built fleets designed to survive ambushes. Ships that could fight while damaged, hide in open space, and strike without warning. Their fleets were decentralized. Every squadron could act on its own, making them nearly impossible to destroy. Now, after the Vorkari insult and initial attack, the galaxy saw the results. Human ships moved with precision, dismantling military forces, blocking reinforcements, and controlling the battlefield without unnecessary destruction. Civilian worlds were untouched, but military power vanished. The Vorkari Empire had no choice but to watch. Their pride shattered. Their fleets gone. Their strategy useless. Humans did not rush. They did not celebrate. They simply controlled the battle, striking only when necessary. Smaller empires began to reconsider. Humans were not reckless warriors. They were strategic, patient, and deadly. The Deathworlders' reputation spread quickly. They were masters of survival and war. At the Galactic Council, the Ancient Alliance spoke again. Humans do not fight for glory. They fight to remove threats. And once they are tested, they do not forgive mistakes. Rumors spread that human fleets were not concentrated in a single location. They were moving silently along multiple star lanes, surrounding the Vorkari Empire without ever striking planets unnecessarily. The message was clear. Humans were not seeking revenge. They were securing their survival. And they would teach the galaxy the cost of underestimating them. Across Nigma, Vorkari, and other empires, fear grew. Traders delayed shipments. Diplomats avoided negotiations. Military officers debated whether to strike first or negotiate. No one wanted to test humanity again. The Vorkari commanders realized their biggest mistake. They had assumed humans were weak. They had assumed Earthlings would beg for mercy, but humans do not beg. Humans survive. And now, every empire in the galaxy understood the danger of ignoring a warning. The Deathworlders were not just survivors of Earth. They were the predators of space. Silent, patient, and unstoppable. And the galaxy had only begun to witness the full extent of their strength. Vorkari Empire believed they still had control. They thought the humans had limited reach, that the first strikes were warnings, not the full force. They were wrong. In desperation, the Vorkari launched a massive counterattack. Hundreds of warships, shielded and armed to the teeth, advanced into human-controlled space. Their goal: destroy the fleets they believed were scattered and weak. But human commanders had anticipated this. From the edges of known space, fleets moved silently into strategic positions. Engines barely flared. Weapons remained powered down. Sensors tracked every Vorkari movement. The first contact was sudden. Command ships vanished from sensors. Squadrons lost cohesion. The Vorkari fired blindly, but human ships moved faster than targeting systems could follow. Every attack was dodged, every counter measured. The humans struck back, not at planets, not at civilians, but at the Vorkari's military backbone. Supply ships disappeared. Communication networks failed. Fleets could not coordinate. The Empire's most important systems were paralyzed. A calm human voice echoed through every open channel. You attacked first. This ends now. Panic spread among the Vorkari. Their fleets, once confident, scattered. Weapons fired at nothing. Shield generators overloaded. Command nodes collapsed. Human ships moved like shadows, appearing from impossible angles, striking with surgical precision. Entire fleets vanished within hours. The Vorkari capital system remained untouched but defenseless. Their military power had been destroyed. The Vorkari High Admiral, once proud and commanding, sat frozen in disbelief. "They are not attacking our cities. They are dismantling our fleet," he whispered. Across the galaxy, smaller empires watched in awe and fear. This was not revenge. This was efficiency. Humans did not fight for pride. They fought to remove threats. For the first time, the Vorkari realized the truth. Their empire had been arrogant. They had insulted Earth. They had thought humans were weak. The human fleets paused at the borders of the Vorkari core systems. They did not advance further. They did not strike civilian worlds. And then, a final broadcast reached every system in the Empire. "We do not seek war. We do not conquer, but we will end threats before they end us." The message was simple. The warning unmistakable. The Vorkari Empire had made a fatal mistake. They had insulted a species that could survive anything, adapt to everything, and strike with unmatched precision. The galaxy understood at last. Humans were not reckless. They were strategic. They were silent. They were unstoppable. The Deathworlders had shown their full power without taking unnecessary life. And now, the Empire lay humbled, its pride shattered, its military broken, but its people alive a mercy the humans chose to extend. For the first time, the Vorkari feared survival more than death. And humanity watched silently, ready for any threat that dared rise again. The galaxy was silent. The Vorkari Empire lay broken, their fleets destroyed, their defenses shattered. Yet humanity did not celebrate. They did not shout victory. They simply waited, calm, patient, and prepared. A human representative appeared on every galactic channel, standing before fleets and empires alike. Their voice was steady, clear, and unwavering. "We do not seek war. We do not seek enemies. But we will end threats before they end us." The message echoed across every system. Every empire listened. Every fleet stopped. Every commander understood the unspoken truth. Human ships began to withdraw from Vorkari space, but not completely. They remained along borders, silent watchers, ready to act if provoked again. The Vorkari begged for mercy. They offered treaties, tributes, and pledges of loyalty. Humanity accepted none of it verbally. Instead, a single final warning was broadcast. "Do not insult Earth. Do not attack humanity again. We survive, always." The meaning was clear. Humans did not seek conquest. They did not seek glory. But if threatened, they struck with precision, patience, and completeness. Across the galaxy, this lesson spread. Empires adjusted their policies. Trade routes shifted. Old rivalries softened. Everyone knew. Never provoke Earth. Children of countless species grew up learning the same lesson. Humans are not to be underestimated. They do not forgive carelessness. They do not forget insult. They survive, adapt, and respond with unmatched efficiency. Back on Earth, life returned to quiet normalcy. Cities grew. Scientists explored new frontiers. Ships ventured to distant stars, not to conquer, but to discover. Yet humanity remained vigilant. Fleets patrolled quietly. Training never stopped. Eyes remained on the stars, because humans remembered. They remembered the centuries of struggle. They remembered worlds lost to fire, famine, and betrayal. They remembered the cost of mercy given too freely. And they promised themselves one thing: never again. The Vorkari survived, but their empire was forever changed. They knew that humanity's patience was vast, but not infinite. Humanity's response had been measured. Their mercy had limits. A final human broadcast echoed through every council chamber and fleet. "We do not seek enemies, but if attacked, we end threats. Always, we survive. Always." The galaxy finally understood. Humans were not monsters. Humans were not conquerors. Humans were survivors, and in a universe full of predators that made them the most dangerous of all.